Hello, everybody. Welcome to April's Art Chat, where I show you all of the art that I made during the month of April. I am Melissa. Happy to have you here. I think I'm going to do things a little bit differently this month. Instead of going day by day, I'm just going to go thing by thing because there was there was one main theme for the month that's kind of hidden under this cake thing, which I'll just talk about right away. These are desserts. These are desserts that I drew during a live Zoom session with Charlotta Hamilton. It was her birthday on the 1st of April, and we drew cakes to celebrate. I kind of did it in the style that Onmar Wynn teaches, where you put your color down first, and then you come back in with your line work on top of it. And yeah, it's just a really kind of fun way to paint something. Very loose, very inky. I do really enjoy this cupcake here. And Knit is here to say hello. Then I'm gonna, speaking of Knit, this is Knit. You see the resemblance? little balding cat. This is a Royal Talons sketchbook that I'm really wanting to finish. I don't know what she's doing. She's climbing over everything. So I'll show you everything that I did during the month in this sketchbook, but I will touch on the fact that I've done a lot of abstract landscapes in April. So Charlotta Hamilton, whose birthday we just celebrated, Charlotta Hamilton on her Substack has a theme every month for her membership group, which I'm very happy to be part of. And this April's month was abstract landscapes, which was actually really transformative, maybe is the word. I mean, it's too early to tell, but I really feel like it's helped me loosen up and just kind of play in art more than I already do. So it was really, really kind of fun. I did learn a new way of painting, but this one was done with oil pastels, so that's why it's kind of messy. Next in here is another landscape. This one had a violent red background. I painted the whole spread with a red, I think it was acrylic paint that I had left over from something that I was doing, and then what did I do? I mapped out the landscape shapes, and then I just color blocked everything in using different material. Very abstract. Another abstract landscape. Again, just shapes, shape, color, as Char likes to say. I did a lot of drawing with Char this month. Like this here is another Zoom session that Char hosted. It's funny that an incredible amount of my art time was spent with Char, including an in-person get-together, which I'll tell you about later. But the theme for this session was condiments. So everybody sent a picture of their favorite condiment, and we had, I think it was like 5 or 10 minutes to capture them. And I was really taking my time with these ones because my hand was a little bit sore. So funnily enough, from opening a salsa jar. So very fitting with the condiment session. And for these ones, I used the Kiritaki Gonzai Tombis, which I don't use very often. This is a drawing session with Debbie Draws Funny for her Weirdo Drawing Club on Patreon, and the theme was something like weirdo fashion or something. Very, looks like Conan O'Brien. This is going to be my Halloween costume. Pencil shavings. And, oh! Cat jump fail. My goodness. Anyway, drawing along with Debbie Draws Funny is always a good time. I used a new pen for this, and it's the Blackwing fountain pen. Not the Blackwing, platinum carbon fountain pen. I feel very fancy when I use that one. Inspired by Samantha Dion Baker. She influenced me. Oh look, it's a blank page. That rarely happens. This was from an art hang party session where we drew book covers with Jennifer Collieris of Books Are My People. So Jennifer selected some book covers for us all to draw, and yeah, I think, what do we have, like 7 minutes for each of these? I used Woody's, the Stabilo Woody pencils for these. Very fun. Another landscape, abstract landscape inspired by Art Deco. And I used IKEA markers to color this in. This is from a in-person drawing meetup that I organized. Sounds weird for me to say, but on the 27th of April, a group of local Toronto artists who I met through Art Hang Party, or a friend invited them, Art Hang Party friend invited them along, and we got together at Queen's Park, downtown Toronto, and walked our way through Queen's Park, sitting and drawing, and then we went to the Batashu Museum and did some drawing there, and it was just really nice. And Charlotta Hamilton was there, Stephanie Lucas, Anne, Eileen, Cindy, Sarah, and am I forgetting? Abba were there, and it was really nice to get together with people in person. This is 3 of the Boston Celtics: Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday, Jason Tatum, and I drew this on the last game of the first round of the NBA playoffs, which they won, so you're welcome. This is from my art haul, my recent art haul that I did. You can watch that video if you haven't already, but just testing out the new supplies that I got. So Artgraph, some Viviva color sheets, it's like a book of really flat watercolor sheets. It's really cool. Paul Rubens neon watercolors, Jackson's indigo watercolor, Daniel Smith watercolor sticks, and a charcoal pencil. So you can watch that haul, but since I have this open, I did get a few more things. So I'm going to take a quick little interlude to show you the things that came. So I ordered these distress crayons as part of this haul, but they took their time coming. So I'm just going to quickly swatch them out and be disappointed all over again when I show you. So these are who is it? Tim Holtz distress crayons, water reactivated pigments from Ranger, and I got the pastel set because I've been on the hunt for a super soft color. I've been on the hunt for super soft colors, and I was thinking these would be them, but I'm just gonna show you. That's not soft, nor does that look anything like the color of the lid. This one, I was doing a self-portrait, and I was like, oh, that'll match my skin tone. Yep. How is that even the same? How is that even the same color? It's not. I mean, they feel nice when they go down on the paper. Very waxy and smooth. But I would just much rather use neocolors, to be honest, or oil pastels. So tell me if you think that those colors match what is shown on the lids. I don't think that they match at all. Maybe, no, not even. That's even a shade or two darker. So I don't know that I will be using these very much, and I don't even know that I want to keep them because I'm so disappointed that they are not what I was expecting them to be. So if you're interested, let me know. Along with that, with these Daniel Smith watercolor sticks, put some stickers on here from Cece because you gotta cute things up. Cora, I think it was Cora, is it Cora Brown, suggested on my art haul video that I cut these sticks in half so that I can fit them all in the carrying case, which I did. So I had 9 colors. I bought the set of 5 mixing colors, and then I bought 4 additional colors, and I cut them in half, which felt a little bit scary at the beginning, but now I'm really glad I did because now I have these sticks that I can pick up and still use to draw with, you know, dip in water and use them like that, or with my brush. But with the other half of these, I will show you. I got an empty watercolor palette and I trimmed them just a little bit to fit in these full pans. So now I have a travel palette of Daniel Smith watercolors, which is like, that's still a heck of a lot of color. Like that's almost a full pan of color. But that's not all. So in addition to this and this, I also have these little pieces. Some of them are more in these half pans than others. But now I have a mini set of these, for which I bought a mini palette. I just went and got this today. It's a from Roman Schmall. They sell these either with watercolor and without watercolor in them. I went for the without because obviously I have enough watercolor to last me 3 lifetimes. But I got the apricot color because I thought it was cute. But it also comes in blue and pink and gold, I think. So, like a tiny little palette. Thank you, Teresa, for bringing this to my attention. And now I can make myself a cute little take with palette. Oh, and this bigger palette came with magnets, so now I have magnets for the bottom of my pans. And if I wanted to, I could still add 3 other colors. But yes, I'm very happy to have this. And I might actually need to put a little dot of glue beneath these little pieces so they don't rattle around, but I'm sure as I use it, it'll kind of melt in there and stuff. But yeah, I am very happy to have this little guy, and I think this guy's gonna live in my bag. Like, he's gonna travel around with me everywhere. So that was an interlude, just to complete. That's not the end of it. I also bought this smalt blue acrylic gouache from Holbein because who doesn't love a smalt blue? I'll just I got the regular gouache not long ago, but I thought I should have also the acrylic gouache. It's not even showing it in the right color, but beautiful. A beautiful, beautiful blue. And to finish off this sketchbook, more abstract landscapes. These were the last 2 for the month, and I used the Daniel Smith watercolors for these. And they're very pretty, very soft. I did these at 7 o'clock in the morning, so yeah. Oh, here's the gouache the small blue. So nice. So nice. That is it for this sketchbook for the month. Let me show you landscapes, because that's another big thing. Let me show you birds because they want to fall over and then I can get them out of the way. We did an art hang party themed 50 birds in 50 minutes. And Lauren from Pugs of Instagram shared photos from her backyard bird feeder, and it was really very cute. I used art graph from the pot, the art graph pot, watercolor graphite over top of pre-painted watercolor paper. I have a reel, so maybe I'll just put that reel up here so that you can see them better without me having to fumble around with it. But let's talk more landscapes, shall we? On the 1st, I joined Sophie McPike for her Scribble Brigade session, and I forget exactly what her theme was, but it was like to play with your methods of drawing a landscape instead of just drawing a landscape. And since I was just starting the abstract landscape month, it was like a perfect theme. So I made this little zine from some big drawing paper that I have, and using Neocolors, I picked colors that I could see in the reference and just made stripes of them, but I varied the width of the stripe based on how much that color was seen in the landscape. So this is representational of that, which is kind of cool. This one I did shapes, just like rectangles and things, to represent the very, very loosely represent the landscape. This one, I reversed the colors, which was really quite challenging, but fun. And then this one, I just did the shapes, like the big block shapes from the landscape, and then just picked a random color and colored it in. So yeah, abstract landscapes in a few different ways. Obviously, I think this one is the most abstract, so that was nice. And then we have more landscapes. So I don't know what inspired me to pick up a palette knife and only paint with a palette knife using acrylic paints, but that's kind of what I did for the majority of these. And yeah, I think this one is my favorite of the month. I love the colors. I love the loose flowiness of it. Yeah. So these are not landscapes, but these are also painted with a palette knife. And these are from Art Hang Party. We did Up Close with Marcy from Sketchbook Scheming. She shared some of her macro photography. So really super close-up imagery that I chose to be super loose and abstract with. And I just painted these with acrylic paint and a palette knife, and it was super fun. That's the inside of a green pepper, if you ever wanted to know what that is. I don't even remember what half of these are, but fun nonetheless. I think there's a couple missing. I think I've sent a couple of these out when people ordered stickers. All right, there's some other things hidden in this pile here, but this is a Free Draw Frenzy, which Debbie Draws Funny and I co-host, and we did this one on April the 5th. And our theme was illustrated cats. So we always start our sessions, our Free Draw Frenzy sessions, with a self-portrait inside of the Free Draw Frenzy frame, which I think is just cute. So these are based on illustrations from a book that I found when I was in Japan. It's just a book of cats. Le Petit Livre des Chats is what it's called. And yeah, it's just filled with like the goofiest cat illustrations, and we drew some of them. So that's a cute little book. Another landscape painted with the Derwent XL graphitint blocks, something like that. The graphitint blocks. I had the background done in acrylic, and then I just dipped the block in water and swiped them across the page to represent the landscape, and then kind of drew in the tree. And then I made the mistake of adding silver paint, which I like when I like it, and I don't like it most of the time though. But yeah, there's that one. This one was based on my photo that I submitted for the month. This is my all-time favorite willow tree at the spot where we go camping with our family every summer. And yeah, like, again, painted with a palette knife, but it's like super chunky. I'm trying to see if you can see how absolutely chunky that is. Like, they're so textured. This green paint here, this like mid-green paint, is like bad, but it's got like the most fun texture. Here's another one. So as I'm painting these, I'm using a separate piece of paper, like another piece of paper kind of this size, as either a palette or to wipe my palette knife off on, and then I work on top of that for the next ones. This is a collage piece that I used some failed photographs for. You can see down here, like, that's just, a photo that didn't quite take. And then I colored over some of these with marker, and then some are just like as they are. But that was fun. This is something that I started, I think I started it probably a couple of months ago. It's my grandma's garden, my muse of muse. But I was inspired to finish it this month with the abstract landscapes. So it's sewn. And yeah, I just collaged on some bits of fabric to represent her garden, and kind of worked the sewing machine, like painted or drew with the sewing machine, which is pretty fun. So I think I would like to do more of this. I think this is really neat. I just don't know what to do with it. Another one, this is 2 landscapes in one, so I'll see if I can find the pictures of them before I cut them up. But yeah, so like the alternating ones are each a different landscape, but I thought that they worked really nicely. They would fit nicely together. But yeah, it's just to play with abstracts. Here is one that I fully painted using oil pastels. I probably should have not chosen oil pastels as one to cut up, because it's like extremely messy, and you know that I love getting messy, but like this one was the messiest because trying to cut it and then trying to like touch it to put it back together, it was just, anyway, it was everywhere. But Shar, in her abstracts, she does a live stream on YouTube Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and basically for her whole month she would paint the landscape relatively quickly in half an hour, and then she would take the other half hour of her hour-long live stream and paste it back together in an abstract way. So this was me following her techniques. Another landscape. Super, I wish you could feel these. Like, you see how much paint is on there? It's so fun. It's so like textural. And another. And another. This was a Hippo Fate to Trucks photo. Hippo makes things here on YouTube. Hippo, I might send you that. And the last one Again, super, super textured. You see, like, how, I don't know. I'm saying texture a lot, but you see the texture of that? That's how it comes out of the tube, that particular paint color. I love it. I love it. So that is the landscapes that I have done on paper. I've also done a whole lot on my iPad, so I will show you those. Starting here. So you see the fun kind of holographic background. I had a photo that I took of a sticker, a holographic sticker. So it was like super just like, maybe I wonder if I have it. Yeah. Remove clipping mask. So here's the photo. So this is the photo as it like was just too close up on a holographic sticker. But I thought, oh, that would be really cool. To use as like as color. So that's what I did. I drew the shapes and then I used a clipping mask and then I used a color overlay on some of them to like get the different shades of it and kind of positioned the sticker around. But I think this one's one of my favorite digital pieces that I did for the month. Another one, what's the difference here? Kind of risograph style. I animated this one, so I'll show you that. There's another one. If you're interested in the process of how I did these with like the blocks of color and stuff, like, and keeping it abstract, because maybe I'll explain it. Or maybe it's just too much information. I would draw each shape using just black, and then I would hide that, create a new layer, draw the next shape, hide that, draw the next layer, hide that, and then I would use a clipping mask, or like I would select each layer individually again, create a new layer, and then I would color it. And then I would select the next layer and color it. But if you're interested in like if you're curious about how that works, I can do a little bit of a demo if you want. Here's an abstract where I just typed out each of the different elements of the landscape, which was pretty neat, I think. I did think to do this with my typewriter first, but I was too lazy, so I just did it here on my iPad. I've been having fun with the digital. So I do these in the morning when I'm like way too lazy to get a sketchbook or paints out. And I think, like, because I know what the reference photos look like, I can see the landscapes in these drawings, paintings, whatever you want to call them. But yet they're still like kind of abstract, but semi-representational, I would say. This one I had fun using, I only used 3 colors plus white, so like the CMY plus white, and then played with the multiply of the layers so that the colors would interact with each other. Kind of fun. I don't like this one. And here's one. This is fun. One of the brushes, I have a brush pack that is a sewing kit. And this is the one that no, I didn't. I don't think I used this one. I have another one that's sort of similar that has just stitches. Anyway, sort of kind of along the lines of like this running stitch here. Anyway, that was fun. And then while I have my iPad open, I did portrait. Oh, hang on. Kind of don't need to see her, but if you want to see, you can see. And this is just from the Sketchy app, which is like unlimited real people portraits that you're allowed to draw and stuff. And I was thinking I should start working on more pieces for my portfolio, for my illustration portfolio. So I think I'm going to do a series of portraits kind of in this style, because that's fun. And that is everything that I made on my iPad. We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, let me show you this sketchbook. This is some of us that went out for the drawing date that we did at the end of the month. But first, this is a sketchbook from Muji, just one of their little cheap ones. And I took myself on an art date to, I ended up going to the Royal Ontario Museum. So I spontaneously went to the ROM, and I think I immediately regret it. I wrote that like right as soon as I walked in the door. But since I was there and I paid the really high price of $35 to enter, I decided I better make it worthwhile and do some drawing. So look at me skipping all the pages. Oh my gosh. Why would my computer go to sleep? Yeah, I did not really have the best time here, but lesson learned. This is from our, oh my gosh, art date that we did. Some guy and his dog sitting across the park. And then we went to the Shoe Museum. So these are shoes. And then Shar and I just, look, another blank page. Shar and I just co-hosted a Zoom drawing session where we drew photos from the shoe museum. And this sketchbook is almost done, so I might actually finish this up tonight because I am going to go out to Ray's gig at Boogie on Queen. And I'm going to take some sketching supplies, and some friends, art friends, are going to come, and we're going to draw some people. So I don't know that I want to take that sketchbook. Here's another one, another Talon's Art Creations sketchbook, and this is from an art hang party where we drew people at cafes. Yes, people at cafes. It was a really, really nice session. For this one, I used the why do I want to keep saying Blackwing? Carbon, platinum carbon, with some Ecoline brush pens. And this guy was my favorite of everybody's. I think everyone drew him the best of all. I also really enjoy this guy. And that dog's face. This was another Debbie Draws Funny drawing session. This one I was working while I was watching, so I snuck a few sketches in. And then another Debbie Draws Funny drawing session of pets in clothing or something, pets dressed up. It was super cute. It was super cute. And then this is an introvert drawing club with Beth Spencer. So introvert drawing club, oh my gosh, introvertdrawingclub.com. And the theme was drawing animals from memory and then drawing them from references. So these are my from memories. And then these are from references. I love that head tilt. And just a random squirrel because that's the end of the sketchbook. So expect a tour of this one soon. This is filled up all with drawing sessions. And then we had our very first art hang party after dark drawing session. So if you have any little ones around, perhaps now is the time for them to look away. Because we drew nudes. I used a very random selection of art supplies. I just had a really fun time over Zoom, chatting, drawing with people. We will do this again, for sure. I have a book with 1,000 nude photographs. So we will not run out of references, although they do get spicier and spicier as you get into the book. So we'll have to see what the appetite is for that. And these, oh, I did these just the other day. That's it. This is a Muji sketchbook. That is the Muji Pocket Note sketchbook. It's very fun, very flimsy. And I've pre-painted some of the backgrounds whenever I have like extra paint hanging around. Final couple of things. A drawing session with Charlotta Hamilton. So the theme for May with Char is flowers. So here we got together and drew some flowers. For this I used the Kiritaki Gonzai Tombi paints and kept it loose and abstract. And then I did these just the other day, so we'll look at those in detail next month. Is that it? I made myself some watercolor sketchbooks from some big sheet, a gigantic sheet of watercolor paper that I have. I love, like, it's just, there's something about working in a sketchbook that you've made. So I just cut up sheets, glued them together using Mod Podge. Like just, you know, swiped it on, let it dry, swiped it on, let it dry. So it's like sturdy, but fragile. And then I used chipboard for the covers and then just tape to tape that down. And I've made 3 of them. So these are gonna be my plein air sketchbooks when I go out to draw and sit in the park and stuff. Yeah, I think it's going to be really, really fun. I'm going to try to fill all of these up over the summer with watercolor paintings. Knit is back. Is there anything else? Just my self-portraits, I think. My self-portraits, let's look at them. I'm also almost done this book. So I started this, this is a Hobonichi Techo 5-year journal. And I started doing a daily self-portrait on my birthday last year. So here. And today is currently the 4th. So I've got 1, 2, 3 days left before this is finished, and then I'm really excited to look back through the entire thing. But in the meantime, let's just look at what I did in April. Excuse me, little lady. This one I did with leftover paint from a landscape. I also did a lot of drawing actually in my Japan sketchbook, travel sketchbook, which I finished and did a tour of, so I didn't include any of that in this month's review. But if you would like to see that, I have a full sketchbook tour up on my channel. That's my Aunt Ruth. I miss her every day. Silly. First Blue Jays game of the season. Oh yeah, this was a fun drawing session with Charlotta Hamilton. So you know on Instagram how everybody is doing those AI generated starter packs. Char decided that no, we're not going to use AI to draw our own starter packs. We're going to draw our own starter packs. So this is mine. I feel like this is just like the top half because I could fill in another 4 spots with like essentials. Anyway, but yeah, it was cute. It was a fun session. I really enjoyed it, and I used acrylic gouache for this along with Stabilo all pencil for the black outlines. Art date with my friend Susie. I have a vlog of this day too, up, which is cute. I like how my drawings from 2022 kind of look like they're coming out of my head in a couple of these. I think that's pretty cute. And that brings us to May, which I'll talk about next month. But yeah, I'm really excited to finish the next couple of days of self-portraits, and then we'll have a really nice, probably very chatty sketchbook tour of this. And I'm gonna I have another one of these books. So I bought 2. I bought one for me and one for Ray to use like as intended. But I'm gonna take his because he doesn't use it, and I'm gonna use it as my next year of daily self-portraits because I really enjoyed doing these. But yeah, that is my month of April. It was a good one, I think. Painting with the palette knife was kind of a game changer for me in terms of being like loose and expressive. I really, really, really enjoyed the art date. Getting to hang out with some art hang party friends in addition to meeting new art friends. So that was really nice, and I want to do more of those. So if you're local, let me know. But yeah, I always pick a favorite. From the month, and I think this is up there. Like, I really love the colors of this one, but I gotta give it to Grandma's Garden. Yeah. So this is my favorite. Let me know if you have a favorite from what I just showed you, and let me know the favorite thing that you made or did during the month of April. I would really love to hear. And let me know what you're looking forward to in May. I am really looking forward to the weather finally turning nice enough to go sit in the park and paint and draw, so that I can use my new watercolors and all of the things that I've gotten in the last little while. Yeah, cool. Okay, I'm going to stop talking because we're probably at about an hour now. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye.